Welcome on board, everyone. Finally, WiPM launch is here. Good day, ladies and our distinguished guests. It is a pleasure and honor and also a privilege to introduce and welcome you all to the official launch of WiPM Nigeria. I welcome our amiable guest speaker, Dr. Terry Okoro, the past chair of APM Women in Project Management, SIG. And also I welcome Rhoda Robinson, a program coordinator and project manager for Hands Up for Her. HER stands for, HER stands for Health, Empowerment, and Rights of the Girl Child. I also welcome all our participants from different fields of life to launch WiPM Nigeria. I won't forget to welcome the guys amongst us who have helped us with the technical issues. I welcome Ajijola Bolan and Oluwase Ishodola. WiPM Nigeria, which is Women in Project Management Nigeria, is a platform that addresses both potential and working women in project management industry, which aims to develop expertise of women in professional. Women in Project WiPM Nigeria would give opportunity to learn about how female professionals working in project management environment maximize the core competencies and skills available in promoting the industry in the profession. So I say again, welcome. Right now, I want you all to sit back and relax. Prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired. And before I hand over to the guest speaker, Dr. Terry Okoro, I know some of us might have been wondering who is Dr. Terry Okoro. Who is Dr. Terry Okoro? She is a great woman doing wonders in project management. Dr. Terry Okoro is a past chair of APM's Women in Project Management, SIG. Originally trained as an architect, she's a qualified project manager and founding director of TOCA, a construction design and project or program consultancy. She's a member of the Construction Industry Council Diversity Panel, non-executive director, speaker, and a commentator on gender and diversity matters. Our consultancy experience spans several sectors, including healthcare, residential and commercial, covering real estate in the UK and Africa. So I want everyone to join me to welcome our amiable guest speaker, Dr. Terry Okoro.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'm trusting that you all can see the screen. I'll just give a brief introduction about the contents of my presentation. I'll start off looking at the context in Nigeria, and then I'll follow that by looking at the projects and project management scenario. Then I'll move on to women in project management, followed by a discussion of participation in project management with special relation to women. And then I'll conclude with a few takeaways, some nuggets which you can take away with you and hopefully benefit from after today. So let's start by looking at the context. Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, but it is still considered a developing nation, mainly because it shows all the characteristics of being a developing nation. For instance, it's got a small, less developed private sector. Most of the significant projects are undertaken by the government. And in fact, most of these are infrastructure type projects, road building and similar. Its resources earn it most of its foreign income as opposed to manufactured goods. Most of the exports are raw materials which are not processed. It has a large informal sector, and also it is considered a VUCA context. And for those who are not familiar with this term, it's to do with volatility, unpredictability, being complex, and also being ambiguous. It is something which is also experienced in the Western world, but obviously not to the same extent as it is in Africa. So moving on quite quickly, reviewing what is changing in the context, we can see that Nigeria today is a transitioning economy. After the oil crisis, the economy is trying to diversify into new sectors, including the agric business and processing. There's a growing range of private, public and private partnership programs. Some of these include schemes like the Fourth Mainland Bridge, quite a few seaports, even the railway line that's linking the west and east of Nigeria. So investing in industrialization drivers, areas like transport and energy, which are really important if a nation is to become an industrialized nation. There's also growth in private sector projects and investments. For instance, lots of retail malls coming up, telecom industry as well. And these are all catering to a growing middle class who need to be serviced. There's also increased manufacturing in Nigeria as opposed to importing items. There's a growth in the formal sector, although there's still a large informal sector. And there's an attempt to try to strengthen institutions and review the governance to try to improve that element of things. Moving on now to projects and the project management context. You can see that there's quite a few sectors identified in this survey, which was undertaken by the PMI in 2015. And these are the top project sectors identified. Nigeria is there in comparison to Egypt and South Africa. So you can see it includes IT, engineering, consulting, government. In fact, the government sector appears quite small in contrast to some of the other sectors. It either indicates that there are fewer project managers in that sector, or maybe the project managers there are not members of the institution who undertook that survey. Interestingly, in the survey which I undertook last year, there was a high proportion of project managers from the government sector. But in tandem with all these projects which are being undertaken, there's also, unfortunately, a high failure rate. Statistics which are available internationally indicates that in the UK, 35% of projects fail. I have heard higher figures for other parts of the world, as much as 70%. Another study, which was the PMI, indicated that 33% of projects fail. And in failure, it could range from non-completion up to not delivering on the goals and objectives of the project. Projects successful need to deliver the goals which they set out, and ideally those goals should be linked to strategy. Increasingly, most projects are linked to strategy. Recent survey shows that in the Western world is 65%, but I believe that may be less in Nigeria and Africa, because that figure has been climbing slowly in the rest of the Western world, and they have project management maturity, which we do not quite achieve yet in Africa. Moving on to the projects and success criteria, as well as the challenges. The survey I undertook in 2017, I questioned the respondents about what are the challenges which are preventing you achieving project success or undermining your ability to succeed. You can see project leadership, which is the human factor, was the highest percentage at 32%. That's almost a third of respondents said project management was quite a high challenge for them. Project funding also was another challenge. Obviously, the project is not funded, you're not able to complete it. And then skilled team members, because it takes a team to deliver a project. But it's not in Africa that we're experiencing these problems, as I indicated previously. In a study undertaken in the UK, in which people who had successful projects were asked to indicate what were the factors that contributed to your success, identified the following. First was competent project teams, and then effective governance around the projects, getting the approvals and getting agreements to changes, using proven methods and tools which were obviously appropriate to the projects being undertaken, and quite important, secure funding, which is one of the issues which has been noted as a challenge in projects in Africa. I'll move on to women in project management. I'm glad to say that Nigeria and Africa are holding their own with the rest of the world. You can see from my study carried out last year, percentage of women was 32%, almost a third, compared to Germany, where it's just 16%. USA obviously have project maturity and a higher percentage. But what we need to understand about women in project management is that these percentages don't give a full picture of what's happening in the ground. Women have a lot to offer to projects, and I think I'll start by the positive benefits of women in projects. By incorporating more women in the project management profession, organizations and countries are using a much wider pool of talent to deliver their projects. They're using a more diverse team. And we understand from research that more diverse teams make better decisions and are more successful. And also the teams are more reflective of people who will benefit from those projects. We're also aware that women often have the innate soft skills which are required to deliver projects, because it's not just the tools that deliver projects. Alongside that, unfortunately, there are challenges, and this has been documented both in Africa and in Europe, and I guess the same is for Nigeria. Women tend to have fewer certifications, and unfortunately, certifications is what gives you a higher income. And so with lower certifications, they have lower pay, and that results in a pay gap. Often they are working on the lower value projects. They also complain about career progression. They do not have adequate networking and supporting opportunities, and also complaining about work-life balance. Hopefully, these are some of the things that WiPM Nigeria will be looking to address. So moving swiftly on to participation. So how can women participate in project management to assist the country and also to contribute to projects? It's quite important that first of all, you assess yourself, reflect on where you are, how competent are you, where are the gaps, and how can you close them? Closing the gaps can be done in multiple ways, including getting additional qualifications by formal or informal study, shadowing, getting the experience. And you don't need to have a job to get the experience. You could always volunteer to get experience. And if you're not getting adequate experience in one situation, you could ask to be seconded to another team. So there's all sorts of ways in which you can build on your competence. But it's not just the experience you get in the workplace or undertaking a project. It's important to build the external alliances, build your network. It's one of the things that an organization like WiPM Nigeria can offer, and also become visible. But also quite important is progressing from just managing projects to actually leading projects, because people who lead projects who succeed. So women and project team members are the social capital that engages with the financial capital to actually enable projects work. But like they say, no man is an island. You need to work in teams. We've heard that one of the challenges is that quite often team members are not skilled or experienced, and that can actually hamper your progress on the project. So it's important that team members are pulling their weight to be able to help to deliver the project. I know often you're not able to choose your team members, but you can find ways to work with them to get the best out of them. Moving on to participating and talent. I see talent as akin to a three-legged stool, quite stable when it's got the three legs, but you take one away and it starts to topple over. So the three legs of talent summarize from a much larger model that I have evolved for this, because we do not have time to review it all. The three elements are the pipeline, new blood coming in and trying to attract a new cohort in, recruiting them. And when they actually get into the organizations, nurturing them, developing them, giving them the opportunity to get the skills, and then giving them the projects which they can work on to enable that they actually progress to senior levels and get the adequate reward. Sometimes people are successful in retaining, recruiting talent, but they do not do anything to develop them, and the talent quickly moves on. But it's quite important to realize that although an employer or organization will develop you, you also have to take responsibility for steering your career. The final way women can participate is in the processes of delivering projects. Now, this is just a summary of the current trends in project, program, and portfolio management. One I'd like to highlight is around the governance, is having the PMO, Project Management Office, so that people are using tried and tested tools to deliver their projects, but also looking at the approaches, whether they're using waterfall or engaging with newer projects methodology like agile or using blended methodologies. Large organizations need to have the correct tools to continually deliver projects effectively. I'll now move on to the takeaways, and here I am starting to wrap up, but I'll have a little to say about each of these items, and this is just to summarize. Starting with the self, it is really quite important that you assess where you are, review your competence, and plan your career, because no one else can do it as effectively as you, working with your organization to try to achieve what you want in the long term. But because you cannot do it all alone, it's important that the team around you is competent and diverse. You may be in a senior position to be able to recruit, but if you're not, then it's making the case to ensure that there's training available for people who require it. But also, you have a responsibility where you have the skills to provide support to people, and where you require it, to receive support from others. It's not each person for themselves, it's people pulling together as a team. We heard originally that project leadership was a problem. Project leadership is really key to succeeding. It helps when there are problems to smooth them over. It helps when there are challenges with funding. And if you don't have adequate leadership, then the project can fail. The tools, like I mentioned before, are really important, but you need to review them for each particular instance rather than just pulling out the same methods you have used. But if things have worked in the past, then you create systems, whether within a project management office or having your own systems within the organization in which you can refer to over time. And then funding is really quite important, and funding will be available if it is linked to strategy. If a project is not well funded, then you have to wonder how important it is, because if important, the funding will be made available. So being able to contribute to national project management development requires people, teams, and processes, as well as sharing the learning that comes from that. And that is what makes it future-proof, that you continually, positively present, undertake succeeding projects. I'm going to end there, but I'll just mention about the survey which I undertook last year. It's now been published at the end of December, and I'll be running the survey again in 2018. If you want to participate, the email to make contact is at the bottom of the page. I thank you all for listening, and I hope that you've had something to take away from this presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Terry Okoro. That was such a wonderful and awesome presentation. I'm so sure that we will all have something to take away. So sure, because I personally, I learned a lot. Part of the stumbling block that is not making women to fully participate in project management. Like you mentioned, you said inadequate network, trying to balance work life, and having few certification, which leads to very low income. So the higher your certification, the higher the income. I've gained so much. This is just a few out of what I've gained here. And I know others too have a lot that they have gained. And right now, we'll be moving on to, okay, before I proceed, I would like to say that if you have any question, you can just put your question down on the chat room where there's everyone indicated. Just put your question down, then we will address the questions. And the next thing is the mandate declaration. Some of us might have been wondering, what is WiPM? What is it all about? What is it all about? It is Women in Project Management Nigeria. So I'll be calling on Boluwatife Kayode to give us the mandate declaration of WiPM. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayode Boluwatife. I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Terry Okoro for that wonderful presentation. Personally, I have learned a lot. I think I really need to work on my network. Thank you so much for that presentation. Now I'll be moving on to the mandate declaration of women in project management. I'm sure you all are so eager to know what WiPM Nigeria. Now it's time to unveil the great initiative. A brief history of how about the initiative. This idea was birthed
We apologize for the temporary loss of sound, and hopefully it will come back again.
Co-convener and the past chair of WiPM UK. Of
Sorry for that break in transmission. I'm sure our network over there isn't quite good. Before we go back to the mandate declaration, I want us to treat one of the questions that has been posted here. And the question will be going to Dr. Terry Okoro and saying, what's the difference between WIM-based and WiPM? WIM-based and WiPM. So Dr. Terry Okoro, I hand it over to you.
Okay, I didn't catch what that first item was, the WIM-based. Can you just spell that so I make sure I have the right word?
WIMBIZ.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah, WIM-based. I can only imagine that WIM-based may be women in business. That's what I can imagine. Whereas
is women management, business, and public service.
Yes,
It's a
okay.
Nigerian-based non-profit organization.
Yes, yes. So that covers a broad range, but women in project management are women who are managing projects. And now, I mean, you're probably aware that there's a difference between a project and everyday management, because a project has a limited life, a beginning and an end, whereas management is day-to-day business. So for instance, a project may be delivering a building, a road, a change within an organization, a new computer system, which has to be planned and managed, whereas business as usual is managing day-to-day business. So that's the difference. So WiPM is for those who are managing change projects, be they producing a building or altering an IT system within a bank, whereas the other organization is for those who are involved in general management. So I hope that underlies the explains the difference between the two.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Terry Okoro. Thank you. I hope that has answered the person that posted this question. Thank you so much. I would also want to ask, you said something like how to improve ourselves as a woman in project management. You were like, assess yourself, know how competent you are. So what standard can I use to compare myself with? Okay, to know that I'm actually competent, or I'm yet to be competent, or I'm close to being competent, or I'm not competent at all. So what standard can I use to compare my competence?
The various international organizations who are affiliated to local organizations usually have what they call the book of knowledge, almost like the Bible. And there's different elements there where you're required to high skills, and they have a competence checklist where you can assess yourself to see whether you're very proficient, not proficient, or have no knowledge at all. So you can go through the various areas to see, and you honestly score yourself, or maybe your line manager can score you. Then you can see where you're failing and where you need to build up on your experience. It may well be that in your organization, you don't have an opportunity to get certain competencies. And this was where I said maybe you could go and shadow someone, or you could ask for a secondment so that you get to a situation where you can become a more rounded project manager.
All right. Now I get it. Thank you so much. Now we'll go back to the mandate declaration. Due to the bad network coverage of Bulu, I will be doing that on our behalf. Mandate declaration for women in project management. The idea was birthed during the first Pan-African Project Management Conference at Yaoundé, Cameroon, May 2017, where a meeting was held with Terry Okoro, the past chair of the WiPM UK, by Air Strategical Consult representative, person of Oluwase Ishodola, of the possibility of establishing women in project management in Nigeria to enhance the participation of both potential and professional female project managers in developing and resuscitating the project management sector, which has been in dismal form for years without any recommended solution, yet in giving it a life. As Strategical Consults, a corporate affairs commission approved consulting firm that focuses on project management, digital marketing, and corporate branding, sees the needs of these establishments and made the effrontery to fly this initiative. WiPM Nigeria is a voluntary association which would be independent after all requirements are met. WiPM, which is Women in Project Management Nigeria, is a platform that addresses both potential and working women in project management industry, which aims to develop and maximize the expertise of women in the professional field. WiPM Nigeria gives opportunity to learn about how female professionals working in project management environment maximize the core competencies and skills available in promoting the industry in their profession. This will promote investment. Also, this platform gives a great opportunity to share experience with professionals, getting to know their contribution to the industry, success stories, challenges, and how it has been overcome. Here are the objectives of WiPM. Firstly, development of powerful profile that will represent the voice of women in project management in Nigeria. Growing of dynamic networks with our link with like-minded organizations. And lastly, increase the visibility of women in project management in Nigeria via our programs. Here is our vision. Our vision is to develop powerful profile that would represent the voice of women in the project management profession in Nigeria. And our mission is to orientate and encourage project management amongst women, especially young women, and also identify and engage successful female experts in the field who would positively progress the course of WiPM Nigeria's vision. Strategic views. Firstly, we represent the voice of women in project management in Nigeria by relentlessly addressing key issues affecting women in project management. Secondly, we grow a dynamic network of women in project management that supports its members. And thirdly, increase the visibility of women in project management in Nigeria through our programs. To perfect this initiative, we would appreciate the synergy of every participant and professional guest by putting our strength into the molding, structuring, and strengthening. I therefore declare the unveiling of WiPM Nigeria to embrace both female potential and professional project managers for the growth of the profession in our country, Nigeria. Yeah, that is the mandate declaration for those that have been, I won't say confused, but wondering what it's all about. We have heard the vision, the mission, the benefits, and the likes. Right now, we'll be moving on to the next agenda, and it is the recognition of outstanding projects, women in project management, WiPM Nigeria. We have outstanding women in project management, so we want to recognize. We have a lot of them though, but we are going to recognize just 2 of them out of a lot that we have. So we are going to be recognizing 2 outstanding women in project management. So the first person we are going to be, that I will be recognizing, will be our very own and amiable guest speaker, and the person of Dr. Terry Okoro. She has been doing so well in project management industry. So Dr. Terry Okoro is a past chair of APM's Women in Project Management, SIG. Originally trained as an architect, she's a qualified project manager and founding director of TOCA, a construction design and project consultancy. She's also a member of the Construction Industry Council Diversity Panel, non-executive director, speaker, and commentator on gender and diversity matters. Our consultancy experience spans several sectors, including healthcare, residential, real estate in the UK and Africa. So Dr. Terry Okoro is a wonderful woman in project management that she has been doing so much in that industry. Another very important personality that we're going to be recognizing today is the person of Rhoda Robinson. Rhoda Robinson is a gender expert with over 9 years experience working with women and girls in underserved communities on intervention and policy advocacy on issues ranging from sexual and reproductive health, human rights, maternal health, to economic development. She served on the Department of International Development, United Kingdom, which is DFID UK, Expert Advisory Group for Women and Girls, and worked on promoting the recognition and inclusion of distinct needs and gendered experiences of women and young people in national policies. She is an experienced facilitator on leveraging partnership and technology in amplifying development impacts. She holds a master's degree in gender and development from Institute of Development Studies, UK, and a professional certification in strategic management. She is a recipient of the Allen and the Nesta Ferguson Award and an alumni fellow of the United States International Visitor Leadership Program. She's also a recipient of the Global Change Leaders Program, Nigeria Leadership Initiative, amongst others. So these are our outstanding women in project management that are doing great things in project management. I hope we all followed and we all got me. Now we're moving on up to knowing the upcoming events in WiPM Nigeria. WiPM Nigeria has a whole lot of events that has been planned for the year 2018, and I'll be handing over to Bolu. I hope she's back now for the upcoming events in WiPM for the year.
Thank you very much, Temisope. Thank you very much, Temisope. Okay, I'll be talking about the upcoming events in WiPM Nigeria. I'm sure now we all have a good knowledge of what WiPM Nigeria is about, our vision and mission statement, and also our objective. WiPM Nigeria has a lot in store for us, some of which are the WiPM launch, which is what we are doing presently. It's the official launch of WiPM Nigeria initiative. This official launch unveils the vision and the mission, including the objective of the initiative, and that's what we've done today. The next program will be International Women's Day 2018. International Women's Day represents the initiative celebration of women globally. It's a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. Then after that, we have WiPM Hangout. WiPM Hangout is an opportunity for you to network with professionals and experts in project management. It represents a small gathering where WiPM come together to share ideas, provide solutions, and we discuss issues that affect project management at large, and even issues that affect them in their project management duties. Wow, we still have one more, which is WiPM Conference. WiPM Conference will be featuring top project management professionals, not only in Nigeria, but across the continent. It's going to be a global program, and I'm sure you really don't want to miss out of this. These and many more awards we have in store for you. Oh, you really need to keep in touch with all of them. Thank you so much, and I hope you've taken note of each and every activities discussed. Thank you.
Thank you, Boluwatife, for the updates of the upcoming events. I'm sure everyone will anticipate to be a part of this event that WiPM will be delivering. Now we'll be moving on to what I would call Cheers WiPM. Cheers WiPM is a way of, it seems as if everyone is quiet, nobody is really talking, it's just the coordinator that is talking. So now we are going to be doing Cheers WiPM, and I'll be handing it over to Rhoda Robinson. Rhoda Robinson, please.
Hello,
unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for recognizing me, first of all. It's not every day that you get to be recognized for something you already love doing. So thank you. And I also want to say WiPM is a great initiative. As Ms. Terry said, we don't find a lot of women in the project management discipline, so to say. And it's something that in our daily lives.
Hello. Sorry for that. We hope Rhoda is still online. We hope she's still online because we can't hear her anymore. Hello. Hello.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Couldn't hear you before.
Okay, the network is terrible. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Okay, as I was saying, WiPM is a great initiative, and I do hope that a lot of women move further in their careers as project managers, joining WiPM and promoting its objectives and its visions as well. I've been a project manager for formerly a president for over 5 years now, and I must say that the things you learn down the line from your experience only amount to improving other projects that you take on. Someone had asked the difference between WIMBIZ and WiPM, and I said that this is a more focused focused initiative in that it is building you as project managers. A project is not something that just happens along the way, something you plan for, that has a lot of resources that you have to plan for, human resources, financial resources, as well, material resources. And building those capacities, building those skills is something that you would use in other aspects of your life as well. And I believe WiPM is not just something that would be used in just their career, but in their businesses as well, in their personal lives as well. It's going to improve them and it's going to add meaningful impact to everything that they're doing. And I just want to say again that thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this, and I look forward to working more and more with WIM. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Robinson. Thank you so much. And we'll also call on you anytime we need your assistance in WiPM Nigeria. Now, we are getting to the end of the launch of WiPM launch, WiPM Nigeria launch. Now is the closing speech. And as I said earlier in my introduction, I introduced and welcome the guys amongst us. They are just two. They have been helping us technically, but one of them will be giving us the closing speech, though it is Women in Project Management, but they have been helping us with the technical issues. So I'll be calling on Oluwase Ishodola, a representative of Strategical Consult, for the closing address.
Okay. Hello. Thank you so much for the privilege given to me and then the honor given to me to give the closing address to Women Association. I believe that is something worth celebrating. So this is what I would say. Number one, thank you so much, Terry, for honoring this invitation. Brother Robinson, this is I think we sent the invitation to you quite late, and we also appreciate you for making this also a memorable day for us. And to our guests, to our participants, you guys are great. We love everything. We love you're coming together to make sure that we really achieve the aim of what we want to do. I believe so much that WiPM is here to stay. I believe WiPM is here to be sustained, and I believe WiPM is here to grow. So after this event, we try to create a very close rapport, and we try to give ourselves information that will enhance our participation in WiPM. WiPM has been launched today, and then everything we did today, what we are doing now, is being recorded, and then is a memory to us, and then to the entire nation for what we are doing today. So I believe that after this time, we'll send everybody and everyone what we did today in terms of all our activities. We're going to send, from the permission of Terry Okoro, our presenter today, we're going to send the PowerPoint to you. That is after she has agreed. So we're going to send the PowerPoint to you, and then from there, we're going to introduce you to our active social media, our LinkedIn, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter handle. We send us everything just for us to get abreast. So as from this time, I would like us to make this a gospel to preach to every lady, to preach to every woman about WiPM. Project management is here to stay in Nigeria. We're going to start this from the primary school to the secondary school to the tertiary institutions and to the professionals. And I believe that yes, we are here to stay. Once again, I want to appreciate everybody. I want to appreciate the organizers. I want to appreciate Ajijola Bolahon. You have been a great guy, being the technical expert behind everything we are doing today. So we say thank you so much, Terry. Thank you. You are the best. Rhoda, a very good friend. You are the best. And everybody participants, I can't mention everybody's name at once. Kayode, Tope, you guys are great. So thank you, and we'll see you another time. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much. And this comes to the end of the launch. We are so happy and glad to have Dr. Terry Okoro with us, Roger Robinson, and every other participant. You are all important. Thank you so much. And I would appreciate it if the person behind the technical can just unmute everybody and we can just say hi, like We are not, there's no radio talking anywhere. Let's just say hi for everyone to hear ourselves. Thank you. Can you do that, please?
Okay, is that one possible? Okay. I think if it's not possible, you can give it a final close and.
Okay, it seems as if it's looking like it's not possible, but thank you everyone for coming. WiPM Nigeria has been unveiled and it has come to stay. Thank you everyone.